Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Minnick. I'm the project manager for the TerraMatch platform, and today I'm going to give you a quick demo of how the platform works. When you first log into the TerraMatch website, you're presented with a landing page that will be showing sort of the latest news happening within the reforestation space. You should be checking back here regularly to see invitations to webinars, different training courses, etc. These will be updated on this site. If I go ahead and log in, move over to my profile, right now I'm logged in as a project developer on the site. So this would be an organization that implements reforestation restoration projects on the ground. The project I'm logged in as is this group named Neem Growers Association. So they are a fictitious group that we've made up for this demo based in Niamey, Niger. You can see that they are a project developer and are an NGO, and they have 16 years of operating experience. On your project profile, you can read information about the organization. You can also see links to the project website, as well as other social media that can be linked here. You can also view any documents that may be supporting documents for the organization. So these could be awards, certifications, etc. You can also view members of the team. So again, for this demo, we have one member on the team, but an organization can add multiple members to their team. The idea behind this is that these different members can then be assigned as points of contact for specific projects. So when those projects are matched with a funding offer, it is that team member's information that is shared with the funder to get the conversation going. Lastly, I want to go ahead and show you the project pitches. This space on the project portfolio, or the project profile rather, allows or shows all of the projects that this project developer currently has. It will show them by different types of status. So this will show projects that are live and currently looking for funding. It'll also show projects that have successfully matched with a funder and are currently or have been implemented already. The idea is that over time, this page, this tab, starts to turn into sort of a portfolio for that project developer, for them to be able to sort of show off their work to different funders and sort of show a track record of successful projects. Now that we've seen the project organizational profile, we're going to hop in and look at a project. Now for this demo, we've created this project named the Neem for Life, 10,000 farmers growing trees. You can see that the project is based in Niger and that it is seeking $400,000 funding for the project. You can also see that the status for the project is live, that it's looking for funding. The project profile is broken down into 4 main components. The first two, the About and Metrics, are specifically about the details of the project itself. The Team tab shows you which team member or members are associated with this project. And then Documents would be any additional supporting documents for this project, potentially maps of the project location, photos, maybe there's a very specific project description document. These can all be uploaded here to further substantiate the project claims. Moving through the About tab. The About tab really tries to get at the overall sort of description of the project. What is this project aiming to do? And it's a little bit more of a narrative. The About tab allows you to describe the project, describe the problem in this space that the project is hoping to address. What are those challenges that hoping that restoration and reforestation can address, as well as any anticipated outcomes through this project. We also go through and allow you to specify who is actually going to be involved with this project, both at the organization, at the NGO, the project developer implementing this project, but also potentially local communities, volunteers, etc. This would allow the project to sort of call those out. We also have a thorough space showing the effects on local communities and how local communities are involved or stand to benefit. We think this is very important because we know that there has been a record of large-scale restoration and reforestation projects in the past where communities were not consulted, and we know that ultimately these result in failed projects in the long term. And so the questions that we have here are really there designed to call out specifically how this project is going to be working and involving local communities as one of those metrics for long-term sustainability. Some of these metrics you can see are the number of people who might be trained, how they're involved, how many people stand to, will be working on the project or stand to benefit from it, etc. We also allow projects to then call out how they're planning to maintain these trees and actually grow them for the long term. Through TerraMatch, we're trying to avoid projects that solely plant trees and then leave them and move on. We really do want to encourage funding towards projects that aim to grow these trees for the long term. And lastly, we allow projects to specifically call out how they will use local resources sustainably. Again, an example might be, how water will be harvested so that there isn't an undue pressure on local water resources or wells. Moving back up, the next space we have is a list of categories here. These categories are land ownership, land type, restoration method, the funding source, restoration goals, funding bracket, this is specifically tied to the funding amount, land size, geographic location, sustainable development goals, reporting frequency, reporting level, and average price per tree. These 12 categories are identical between both project developers and funders when filling out a project or a funding offer. These are the categories that the platform then uses to match projects with funding offers and show that compatibility score. After this sort of higher level overview description of the project, we can then move into metrics, and this is where project developers can really get down to all of the specifics of their project so that it's clear to funders what some of these impacts are, the numbers of trees that plan to be grown, etc. Now, there are a number of different metrics here, and I won't cover all of them, but I just want to give a preview of what this page looks like. There are some overviews, information on the organization itself, going into some of the reporting capabilities of the group, some of the project metrics. So again, these metrics are broken down by restoration method. So in this case, agroforestry is the sole restoration method being used for this project. The project developer can then state how many years of experience they have using this method, the number of hectares of land that are going to be have agroforestry applied to it, the average price per hectare, any potential carbon estimates, biomass to be gathered through this project, as well as any biodiversity impacts, so different species that may benefit through this. We can then specify specific tree species that the project will focus on. Again, this can be a list of every single tree species to be planted or grown. This could also be some of the key species if there are a couple key species that dominate. When we click on this, it allows us to then look at all of these metrics by tree species. So this would be the numbers of trees, the price per tree, again, breaking this down, not just as an overall price, but breaking it into 4 components. These are the price to acquire saplings, the price to put these saplings in the ground, the price to maintain these trees once planted, and the price to prepare the site. The idea behind this breakdown is to allow projects to be compared to each other and to have a fair comparison. It could be that some projects have a very low overall price per tree, but when you look a little bit further, you can see that this price is really only accounting for the price to acquire saplings, or there is very little funding being put towards maintaining these trees. And so we feel that by allowing project developers to break this information out, we can have a very fair comparison between projects, allowing us to see why projects might be more expensive. Maybe they have more money assigned to maintenance, so the long-term survivability of the trees goes up. We also allow then for each tree species to indicate the average survival rate, whether the trees are food producing or timber producing or firewood producing, who has rights to the trees. So once the trees have been planted and grown, who actually has rights to use or benefit from these trees, whether or not the tree is native, as well as the planting season. The project can then indicate its specific geolocation. Shape files are the preferred method here, and they can be uploaded through the site, both as a shapefile or a KML from Google Earth. We do allow project developers who may not have that type of capacity to specify either draw a project polygon on the map itself, or to specify a specific location and indicate a meter radius for the site. And lastly, the project can specify which sustainable development goals it aims to address. And lastly here, if we go to team, we can see our team member here, our managing director. Now that we've seen an overview of the project profile, I want to show you how projects are matched with funding offers, how the search and filtering process works. So presuming now I'm neem growers, I've created my project, it's now live on TerraMatch. I'd like to go out and see which funders and which funding offers are out there that could potentially match with my project. So I can go over to the funding tab. And what this does is show me all the funding offers that are currently looking for projects on the platform. I can scroll through the projects themselves and review each one individually if I'd like. I can go ahead and sort these by oldest to newest or newest to oldest. I can also apply different filters. So it might be that I'm interested in looking at all funding offers that are looking to fund agroforestry projects. And so at the top here, it will show you in blue which filters are currently selected, and then showing you that compatibility score with different projects. So you can see this one here, not looking for agroforestry, so a 0% compatibility. Lastly, and we think this feature is actually quite useful for project developers and funders alike, is that since you've already created a project specifying all of these criteria, what you can do is select from this dropdown your project. It could be that you have multiple projects, so you can select different projects, and when you select these, all of your filters will automatically be applied. And so now when you are looking at the compatibility of the different funding offers, you're essentially looking at the compatibility of that funding offer with your specific project. So in this case, we see that there's a 92% compatibility with this funding offer. I'm going to go ahead and read more and explore and see what this is all about. I can come in here again, seeing a title for the funding offer, the region of interest. Funders can specify specific countries or the continent in our current beta, and also the amount of funding that they have or are looking to put towards reforestation efforts. You can also see information here on the side for the organization or company that is looking to fund these projects. In this case, again, this is a fictitious group that we have called Hold the Cone. It's an sustainable ice cream company. The funding offer profile is similar to the project profile, but a little more simplified. We have a space where there can be a narrative for the project itself, calling out what the funder is hoping to achieve through this project or through this fund. We have information on the organization, as well as the amount of money they are looking to invest in this, their average price per tree, and if they're looking for a long-term engagement or if this is a one-off project, maybe for a special event. Also, some of the reporting requirements they have, and the sustainable development goals that they're hoping to address through the projects they fund. As mentioned, you can see on the side here the different categories that are required for funders and project developers to fill out. The blue indicates a category on which there is a match, and gray would indicate one on which there is not a match. So in this case, you can see we're matching on 11 out of 12 categories. It shows you based on your project. This is our project Neem Grow, Neem for Life. If you had multiple projects, you could click this drop down and select those, and this match score would then change according to the criteria that you have. So you can see that we match on all categories except for one. You can also go to the team and see who is the main point of contact from the funder for this particular funding offer. In this case, the head of sustainability and outreach. So after reviewing this project, or this funding offer, I should say, I would say, yes, I'm interested, a 92% match. This is very good. I'd like to express interest in this funding offer and see if there's a potential to get my project funded. I can go ahead and click on the Apply for Funding tab. What this will do is take me to a screen where I can select the pitch that I'd like to match with this particular funding offer. In this case, my 10,000 farmers growing trees. And I would say apply for funding. I'm getting a notification right now because I've already done this connection up front. What this will do when clicking on the apply for funding will send a notification to the funder telling them that Neem Growers Association, through its project 10,000 Farmers Growing Trees, has expressed interest in their funding offer. They will then have the opportunity to review my project with all of its details, and if they're interested in that, they can go ahead and confirm interest in my project. When both parties essentially match with each other in this way, we can then go to the Connections tab, and this is where we'll then see the matches that we have on the site. We can see which ones we've actually connected with, where both parties have shown interest in each other. We can also see a list of funding offers that have expressed interest in my project, but that I have not yet responded to, or funding offers that I have expressed interest in, but I have yet to receive a reply back. And so the Connections tab allows you to keep track of all of your sort of interactions on the platform. What happens once you connect with a group is now that point of contact that you saw before, where you only had a name and you did not have the contact information, we can now share email and phone number for this person and allow for the connection to take place offline. TerraMatch as a platform is focused primarily at this stage on standardized project and funding offer templates and information, allowing it very easy, making it very easy for both funders and project developers to search, filter, and match with one another, making that entire discovery process a lot more efficient. At that stage, contact information is shared, and then all discussions, contracts, payments then take place off of the site. During this beta stage of TerraMatch, the primary focus is on the search and match function. Thank you so much for taking your time and listening to this demo. If you have any questions about TerraMatch, please reach out to us at terramatch@wri.org or visit us at terramatch.org to learn more and to begin registering for an account. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you on the platform.